everybody! It is Friday! How are we doing tonight? It's Friday, people. You made it. You did. You made it through another week. How you doing? Who's with me tonight? Who's on first? I see you're all starting to pop in there. Who's with me tonight? I know I'm more 8 than ish tonight. I'm screwing everybody up. I'm more on time. Vina's in first. Hey, Vina, how are you tonight? Welcome. Welcome. Good to have you with us. How are things in Indiana, the land of everything being open 100% now, right? You're at phase 5. Everything's good? I think Indiana's the good state. Good to have you here. So I'm going to reverse this. I'm going to move you closer here. Still getting used to my new set here. But good to have you with us. What are we? Hey, Adele and Dazzle, great to have you here. What is everybody grateful for this Friday night? We did it. Another week. Week 28 or 29, depending on how you're... Well, we're going to go through phases like that, Vina, where they need to get tested. And that's not a reflection of your employment or your place. It is the reflection of the world we're in right now, that testing has to happen. Hey, Kathleen, Miss Alaska's joining us tonight. Good to have you on, Kathleen. Hope all is well in Alaska and business is good. Great to have you with us. But, yeah, I mean, that stinks that you're going through that with employees. But, you know, really, anytime anyone's feeling under the weather for whatever, you just got to send them home. We had one today that was just, you know, not feeling well, just, you know, probably overtired from classes more than anything else. And, you know, we sent her home. Hey, Kitty. Yeah, sales, it is Happy Friday. Friday. Cheers, Kathleen. Yeah, it was a good sales day. My team, I have to run some numbers tomorrow, but my distribution team has been doing some unbelievable work getting inventory to the stores and just so that they could pound it out. They've really been doing some phenomenal work, and it shows because we're seeing the sales from that. And I do like the cooler weather is bringing people out to shop, so I'm okay with that too. Right there with you. Hey, Barb's with us tonight. Hey, Barb, great to have you with us. Hope all is well with you. Everybody, tell me what we're grateful for this Friday night. Friday night. Friday. You guys did it. Another week. You did it. Another week through this. Week 28 or 29, depending on how you're counting. Week 28 or 29. Since this all began, you guys are amazing. Amazing. You guys are awesome. I'm so proud of you. Proud of you for getting through one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, just one step each and every day. We can do it. But tell me, Kitty's grateful for great sales. What else are we grateful for this very Friday night, October the 2nd? Rocktober. We are in Rocktober. We're going to rock this. We flipped over the calendar here yesterday. We flipped it over, the official Enterprise Bank calendar. And we are flipped over and enjoying the benefits of, where did my comments go? Of October here with us. So we are excited about that. But I hope things are good in Pittsburgh for you there, Barb. You're outside of Pittsburgh. But it is good. I think I screwed people up tonight being so early. Being more 8 than Ish. Way more 8 than Ish. I'm probably upsetting Dazzle, too. Messing Dazzle's nighttime routine up. All right, folks, let's get this started with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book. Hey, Krita's joining in. Hey, Krita, great to have you here. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. That's where we go. Good morning. Your mind is yours alone. Do what it takes to make yourself comfy. Build a library in there. Play some music. Make it your home. That's on page 90 tonight is where we're at in the Good Morning, Good Night book. That is where I flipped to tonight. You know, it has been a good week to have a good week. I'm just saying, it's been a good week to have a good week. I got a few things here, just a couple things tonight. I think I left some of my other pile at the warehouse today. I'm like, I have a whole pile all clipped together, and I'm like, where did it go? I think I left that and my emergency change that I keep. I think I left it there, but that's okay. That's never stopped me before. Never, never. Our friends at H&M. H&M's going to close 250 stores next year. And here's what's interesting, and this is diversification, so this isn't all bad, really. A quarter of H&M's leases are up for renegotiation or exit annually. And they say they plan to a net decrease in their brick and mortar footprint next year of about 250 stores. Sales fell in the third quarter by 16% to 50.9 billion Swedish krona. Swedish krona. Everybody's got to have some Swedish krona. Or about 5.7 billion US as the pandemic kept stores shut. But they made an adjusted profit of 2.37 billion Swedish krona, which is the abbreviation for is SEK, in case you were wondering. But it's it's really interesting. One, how they've structured their leases so they're not all up at once, which is smart. Okay. So they're not in a pickle all at the same time with their locations, or held hostage by it. But they're using that as a way of reducing their store footprint, some of those leases, instead of what other stores are doing and going through the bankruptcy process. So this is actually a good thing, even though H&M is known for their fast fashion and everything. This is really a good thing and a good way that they're doing it. So I am encouraged by that. Obviously, lots of the headline of the day is obviously COVID. Okay, and quite honestly, if you are an early bird, if you were a really early bird, and listening to the overnight news. So if you're listening to the news at, let's say, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and catching the... Oops. Hang on one second. That's bad. I'm not supposed to drop my glasses. Difficulties of the news stage. All right, I'm back. So the overnight on the news, okay, the late or early morning news, depending on which way you want to look at it, which is after the tweets went out and announced that the president, first lady had COVID. you we're dealing with the sky is falling. The markets are all going to fall. We're going to be in another lockdown. I mean, I was telling Cassandra about the early morning news tonight, and she's like, yeah, really? And I'm like, oh yeah, the early morning news was gloom and doom. Overseas markets were going to fall like, never before and everything. He's one person, but it's symptomatic. But they tried to make something out of it that didn't appear. Hey, Jennifer, great to have you with us. Glad to have you here tonight. And it was like people aren't going to come out because now anybody can get it because the president got it. And really, quite honestly, is anybody can get it at any time. We all just need to be smart. Again, keeping clean, washing your hands, wearing a mask, all these things do wonderful things to help reduce your chances of becoming infected. But it's a real virus. It's really out there. So that was one obvious headline in the news today, a big one that took the air out of pretty much every other story. The other story that is still playing out and will continue this weekend is, what's happening in negotiations on another bill. Especially because, like I told you, the airlines now, all the layoffs at the airlines have started. And Speaker Pelosi is like, whoa, hey, airlines, stop laying people off. We're going to fund you. We're going to get you the money you need. Stop, hit the pause button on this. And they haven't as much hit the pause button on it as saying they can undo it. Because they don't have a lot of faith in Congress doing the right thing. And there was an attempt to just get a unanimous consent bill just to fund the airlines passed today, and that failed. Wasn't even brought up for a vote, really. Wasn't allowed to be brought up for a vote. And Sarah's with us. Hey, Sarah. So, from that perspective, that wasn't happening. But what that shows is what I am hearing and what I am getting is that there is still the goal of putting a deal together, just part of a bigger package that takes care of the airlines and takes care of everybody else. I had the opportunity to be on a call with Vice President Biden's economic advisor today. And, quite honestly with him, I was like, this is all well and good. You got great, these ideas sound great on paper. But, businesses, the American economy, and Main Street can't wait for February, for you to be inaugurated. How can you lead now? Okay, how can you lead your party? You're supposed to be the head of your party. How can you be the leader of your party, okay, and help them and this country, use your influence? I mean, the title of president doesn't make you a leader. The title of president doesn't make you a leader, and that's what I actually said. It does. It gives him some powers, but it doesn't give him power to make Congress do what he wants. But, helping people come together, he can do whether he's president or not president. And that is what I suggested, and that got some interesting feedback on the call. But, quite honestly, the number of businesses between now and the middle of January that'll go out of business is a large number. We're not letting anybody do it because that's not what we do here, but the reality is restaurants and other businesses are going to go out, and despite our best efforts. And, Congress helping the American people and Congress doing their job would be greatly helpful. So I'm hopeful that because of everything that's going on with the airlines right now and all those, that they will do something before they break for the election. Because Congress is supposed to go on break for the election and is not supposed to be back until after the election in session. So, but they're still talking. They're still trying to make a deal. We'll see what they come up with. As time passes, it gets more complicated. But the speaker is they're trying. I'd like to take them at their word that they're trying to come together here. One of the things I wanted to talk about over the next couple of days, because it's a big deal and it came up in one of the other groups, is, and I'm going to go about it a different way. How many of you, give me some likes here, if you have a lock on your store? Anybody have a lock on their store? Anybody? Give me some likes if you have a lock on your store. You do? My peanut gallery has a lock on their store. Okay? They have a lock on their store. Give me some likes. How many of you have a lock on your house? Anybody got have a lock on the front door of their house? How about you beep your car when you get out at the grocery store? You lock your car. Anybody do that? There. I'm seeing lots of likes pop up there. Yeah. Now, yeah. So some of you, lock your car when you get out of it. Okay. You lock your store at night. You, depending on where you live, you may lock your house, okay? I know some of you don't do that, but lock your house, okay? But you lock your car and you lock your store, okay? But what most of you don't do, okay, is lock your software, okay? You have your software completely unlocked, and if you have any kind of locks on it, everybody has full access to it. Full access. They can do whatever they want to it. They can see whatever they want. They can change whatever they want. The number one theft from business is employee theft. There is. Well, you have an alter ego, Jennifer. You're nervous Nellie of Naples. Okay, but most people listening are not. Okay, most people listening are not. And they use one code for their computer if they have a code. If they use multiple codes, they tend to have them on a sticky note next to their computer. And everybody knows it, okay, what the password is. That isn't security. Everybody having their own sign-in isn't security. That doesn't make your system secure. Having different levels, limiting access to your systems, letting people only have access to what they need to have access to, the bare minimum that they have access to be able to do their job is what you want. Okay? Having all of that in place, having all that tracking, being able to track what everybody does. I mean, all the software packages, doesn't matter whether you use Ricochet or Liberty, or Consign Pro or Computer Peeps, or Simple Consign, any of them, all the NARTS affiliates, Resale Global, any of them, all of them have security available to you and various security levels. Okay? It is important to set up security not by the person. Okay, yes, you have people working within your company. Okay, you have Sally and Susie and Jim Bob. And you have all these various people, but security isn't about the person. Security is about the role. Okay, what role does Susie have? Is she a cashier? Well, then all cashiers. Hey, Nebraska Angie, how are you? Are you back in Nebraska? Security is about the role. Are they a cashier? Are they a manager? Are they part of your pricing team? What role does a person doing that job, what do they need access to? Okay? In your business. Okay? What does that person, what does your store manager need access to be able to do their job that's different than a cashier? That's different than somebody who's processing inventory. Okay? Limiting. Hey, you're becoming a power driver, Angie. Awesome. Although I thought you were flying. I didn't know that you were flying out across the highway. But I thought for some reason you were flying between Florida. But security is about the role. Okay? Again, the number one theft in business is employee theft. Across any business, it is there. The next closest theft, okay, or outside theft, isn't even close to what it is for employee theft. Okay, and in retail especially. In our systems, we deal with a lot of money. Okay, it should be rare that you're making direct adjustments to an account for money. And so that access should be extremely limited. Payouts should be tracked. Anything that you're doing, okay, to an account should be tracked. Security is really, really important, and it was brought up, in one of the other groups this week, about that a store had a major theft, and they didn't have every user assigned to a security code. Everybody had used one code. Anybody could make changes to an account. Anybody could adjust the balance because, sometimes we do a make good and we need to put $5 on somebody's account. So everybody could change the balance. Okay, they did cash payouts. So when you did cash payouts, anybody could do, so you could change the balance to whatever you want, and then you could do a cash payout. There was no audit trail, no tracking, because it was all to everybody. You couldn't prove that it was Sally. You didn't have the audit trail or the data trail. Okay, so yes, individual sign-ons can be viewed as an inconvenience. Yes, having people not be able to do everything in the system can sometimes be an inconvenience. But if there's a true reason why they need a feature for their job, that's a different story. That discussion can be had. But most of the things that adjust inventory or adjust quantity, adjust dollars, don't need access. People don't need access to that on a day-to-day basis. Even in our own company, I have my everyday login. I get that bug. That fruit fly is still flying around me. My everyday login is no higher than a store manager. Okay, than one of my managers. Okay, I have a super user login that gives me access to everything, but that's not the one that I'm usually signed in with. I'm usually signed in with a login that's no better than a manager. Okay, so if I step away from the computer for a second, nobody's going to get very far. They're only going to get as far as a manager. The other thing that we do, and just to continue this discussion a little bit further, because one of the signs of theft that I always see when I'm working with a store is a drawer that's always in balance. Oh, we balance to the penny every day. To the penny. It's like the land of Lincoln. We balance to the penny every day. And unless you're telling me that every person that works and handles cash in your business was a bank teller in a past life, if Susie balances to the penny every night, Susie's a crook. Okay? And I say that from the perspective of it's statistically impossible. And you just have to think about it for a second about a roll of pennies. Does every roll of pennies have 50 pennies in it? No. Some have 52, some have 48. Okay, you don't count them when you get them from the bank. You don't break them open and count them and then re-roll them. Okay, so you should have some overages and shortages, and that's okay. That's why we actually count blind. My store doesn't know how much cash they should have left at the end of the day. And by counting blind, it makes it harder. Your honest people would count it 3 times and then throw the quarter in that your drawer is short. Okay? They would go to their purse and get that after they spend 15 minutes of labor on your dime, counting it a couple times, trying to find why they're off a quarter. Your dishonest people are using that as a way to steal. Not to steal the quarter, but it becomes a symbol of what they're counting or what they didn't ring in during the day, and they're using that as a way to get the cash out. It's also the same reason they use a need a penny, have a penny fund. Okay, we talked the other night about the coin shortage and how you're not going to let somebody walk out for 39 cents, being 39 cents short, you're just going to let them go. But a need a penny, have a penny jar is a way that people count, keep track of money that they didn't ring in. So your cashier throws a nickel in every time they didn't ring a $5 bill in. And that way they're keeping track and see later on that they need to take, oh, there's 3 nickels in there, I got to take $15 out of the drawer when my boss isn't looking. So I'm dealing with these at a high level, and I know I'm going quick, but I want to get in your head that people steal. And I am a firm believer that most people are inherently honest. But there are bad people out there, and you will come in contact with them if you employ people. Okay, even if you employ your sister. Okay, you will come in contact with people that steal, and it's on them, not on you. But I'm trying to protect you from that. And since it became a big discussion the other day, it's important to watch this and to really minimize that. It's also, if you do cash payouts, it's important to do, it's important to spot check your payouts to your camera. So if you have a payout done at 2 o'clock for $10, okay, you want to make sure that somebody is actually standing on the other side of that counter when that happens. Absolutely, Russ. One bad apple can do a lot of damage. And they can do it very, very fast. Anybody that's been in business for any long period of time has had somebody steal from them. And that's just the reality. It's sad. It's sad, but it happens. It's one of the risks we take when we hang that sign out there. But it can have a disastrous effect. So you want to check that and make sure that when a payout is happening in your system, okay, that it's actually on camera, that somebody's sitting across from them and taking that money and signing that form, your payout form, that it's not just a scribble on your form. The same if you pay out by check. You want to check your checks, you want to spot check your checks as well. If you pay out by check, you want to spot check your checks to make sure that the name on the checks match the name on the account. Okay, that somebody didn't go in, change the name on the account to themselves, their best friend, their mother, run a check, and then change it back to Sally Smith, okay, which was the original account holder. So everything looks fine. It looks like Sally Smith got a payout, for $100, but the check was actually written to Russ Levy. And Russ is, pocketing those pennies just like in the Superman movie, or the quarter cents. But I'm dating myself, but Russ knows what I'm talking about. He saw that movie. So, you really, this is just this talk tonight is really just to keep you aware of of potential things. I've covered a lot of really broad topics that I haven't dived too deep, and we can dive into the ones you want to talk more about in the coming days. But I wanted to throw this out here because it is so important, and it was brought up in one of the other groups, and it's extremely important that you watch that. I like to say, if you watch the pennies, the nickels take care of themselves. And you know, that doesn't mean that I'm overly crazy about every penny. I mean, I actually, that's why part of the reason we count blind. I don't want my cashier staying there for 15 minutes trying to find a 25-cent error. Oh, so let me just redefine what counting blind means is. Okay, so counting your drawer at the end of the day blind means you count back to whatever you're supposed to leave. So if you start your day in the drawer with $100 or $200 or $300, whatever the number is that your drawers start with, okay, that's what your people count down to. They don't know how much cash is supposed to be in there. They count it down to $200 if that's what you start your day with. They leave $200 in the drawer and they deposit everything else. And then we reconcile in the office to see what they were over and short. And there should be, just little overage and shortages. And even usually when there's a big overage or shortage, it's 9 times out of 10 when you're counting blind, it's an honest mistake. Okay, the money's still in the drawer, they just counted wrong. Okay, they send it to the bank, you get a deposit correction from the bank because your deposit had an extra $100 in it. Things like that is what happens in a normal course. When it's not normal, what you start to find is that every Tuesday, or every time Sally works, you're short $20. Okay? That a pattern starts to form. And that's what typically happens over time when you're dealing with somebody that is stealing from you. You find the patterns, the idiosyncrasies, the things that just don't add up. So, I wanted to plant that seed for you because I know not all of you are in that other group that this was talked about. And even just talking about it in a text sense on a Facebook group isn't always the best way to do it. So I wanted to bring out that discussion. And we'll dive a little deeper as you guys want to in the coming days on this, because it's important that we do talk about it and keep you aware, especially as you're hopefully heading into a busier time of the year for you. That is our goal, because we are in Rocktober, people, Rocktober. I've seen it. I've seen you guys starting to use it for your emails and Facebook posts that it's Rocktober. We're going to rock it here. We are. And you have all the resources available to you to rock it. You have the NARTS affiliates, the NARTS software vendors, who are all there to help you rock Rocktober, people. This video and everything we talk about here, everything we talk about here is over at narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. It goes there to help keep you organized, okay? Not everybody can watch us live, especially on Friday, okay? And that's okay. You catch the replay over on narts.org/resalestrong. It's there by noon the next day. But it's also there, and all the resources are there to help keep you organized, and so you can share it with everybody. Share it with your butcher, your baker, your candlestick maker, your cobbler, your peddler, your doctor. I'm running out of rhymes here, people, but hey, share it. Share. Okay, let's help everybody get to the other side. Everybody. Rocktober, Molly. Happy anniversary. Molly and Eric Baker. 1 year. 1 year ago, they were on the beach getting married. I woke up one morning, I'm flipping through. She's on the beach. What's she doing on the beach? What do you mean she got married? Yeah. Molly Baker. 1 year. Congratulations, Molly and Eric. Happy anniversary to you. Great to have you here. You're going to rocktober it in Steamboat. You're going to steam right through it and fill that register. That is what you're doing. Rose, when did you sneak in? I missed you there. Great to have you here. I am here every night in the Nards private Facebook group, live at more 8 than ish, live at more 8 than ish Eastern, every night in the Nards private Facebook group. If you, or even your butcher, baker, or candlestick maker, have a question for me in between, you just email me. You email me to Neil, N-E-I-L at ECIstores.com, N-E-I-L at ECIstores.com. That's where you find me. Every night on this program, every night we start this program with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book, sort of our religion here that's helping us get through. Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote it for us. I think he was thinking totally of us when he wrote it. Our good morning tonight on page 90 is good morning. Your mind is yours alone. Do what it takes to make yourself comfy. Build a library in there. Play some music. Make it your home. Our good night tonight is good night. Your mind is yours alone. Do what it takes to make yourself comfy. Draw the blinds. Kick out unwelcome guests. Make it your home. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party. A wedding like there's one tomorrow. Just saying. Illinois, crash at 1816 house. Just saying. Anybody that's going to be hanging out in Illinois, the Zach and Rachel wedding tomorrow. The best friends. Hey. A bar mitzvah. Any kind of party. Molly and Eric Baker's anniversary party. Whatever the party. You know we'll be together in person again, and I will be there to party with you. Tomorrow on Saturday Night Live, it's Self-Care Sunday Eve. Self-Care Sundays, where we get to take a look at the recipe of the week. The recipe of the week for the Resale Strong cookbook. Resale Strong. The Resale Strong cookbook that's helping us bake our way to the other side of this. I'll be back here tomorrow night at more 8 than ish, but until then, know that you, and especially you, yes you, Molly, celebrating your anniversary tonight, you're not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. It's time for dessert.